Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she yells, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running the theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog ate it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on her Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one." Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one."
Good morning, everybody. Hold on one second. I have to fix Paw Patrol. Mommy emergency. Paw Patrol ended, and I need to fix that stuff. So I will be back in a hot second. 1, 2, 3. Y'all get coffee because I know some of y'all forgot it. Be right back. All right, Paw Patrol emergency over. She's trying to figure out how to use the remote because she's 3 and she's smart. I don't think I could use a touch, the remote like we have on smart TVs in 2025. As a 3-year-old, I don't think I could do it. However, she figures it out, but she ends up turning off the TV when she gets frustrated with it. And it's a Paw Patrol emergency. Holy goodness. Yeah, modern day Scooby-Doo. We're a bunch of, there's like a pup that's named Sky that her power is to fly. There's Marshall, who's a Dalmatian. He puts out fires and things like that. It's a whole thing. But the thing is I actually can watch Paw Patrol and not get bored. So, like, I much prefer Paw Patrol over Cocomelon or Bluey or Peppa Pig. So, like, I love Paw Patrol. I love Paw Patrol. She has YouTube Kids. So she has Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig, Sesame Street, things like that. So yeah. But usually she can start a new one over again. But when she can't find, and she needs a specific video, because I will, like, you can't just have any Paw Patrol. She needs, like, her specific character for that day that she's interested in. Heaven forbid I put on the wrong one. No, 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 no. So that's what we were, that's what we were working on this morning was, yeah. Which I prefer that, her watching that and playing with her little foot piano, than being on her iPad. So, Paw Patrol is a relatively, like, I would say within the last 5 or 10 years kind of a thing. So, yeah. Oh, we remade that Barney song when I was a kid to a 44, pew pew. So, yes, the baby squid has spoken. Yeah. So, and I thought this one was like a 3-hour thing where it just, like, it's not full episodes, but it takes snippets of various episodes and puts them in a compilation. So I thought we had like an hour. Apparently I was wrong. Yeah, at least she gets right to the point. Yeah, unlike me. Thanks, Gail, for the backtrack back to reality. Welcome to my house on a Monday morning. That's all I can say. We are going to get straight into this after the obligatory 7 minutes of Paw Patrol talk. Welcome to being a stay-at-home mom. Welcome to my life, y'all. Yeah. Timothy, for me, it was more like, I hate you, you hate me. Let's chase Barney up a tree with a 44 blank, shoot him in the the thing above his neck. Aren't you glad that Barney's not alive anymore? That's the kind of person I was when I was a kid talking about Barney. So if that gives you any indication on my childhood. Where did we leave off with this judge? This is for those who are either on replay crew, new to the channel, or have never heard of this judge before. This is Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee County. She's a circuit court judge in Milwaukee County. And she is being sued by the Trump administration, charged by the Trump administration for obstruction of justice, because she allowed someone who was in the country not legally, that was in her courtroom for something like DV charges or a domestic battery or like a misdemeanor battery. And she allowed him and his lawyer to leave out a door that a jury would enter and exit to evade ICE. And whatever you think of ICE, this is one of those cases where no matter what you think of ICE, they are just doing their job. And for those of you, I'm going to get a little 30 seconds of political. Whatever you think of ICE, you cannot say that they're arresting innocent people. No, they're not. They never did anything wrong. Yet by coming into this country not legally, that by definition is breaking the law. My thing is if you don't want law enforcement to enforce the laws, go to Congress. Tell Congress that our immigration laws suck, because I believe they do. Tell Congress to change the damn immigration laws. Make immigration and the process of getting a visa and being here a little easier, and make it less about affluence and more about need. Don't not enforce the laws because you don't like the laws. Tell your fucking congressmen to get off their lazy damn asses, do their effing job, work together and fix the fucking problem. That is my solution to most things. If you don't like the laws, tell your congressman, make phone calls, send emails. I always make phone calls because phone calls, they actually have to talk to you. Emails, they can set aside, they can delete. You know how easy it is to go through your inbox and just delete emails without reading them? Phone calls, a person actually has to answer the phone. So I am all about making a phone call. I don't like to talk on the phone, but do I like to bitch to some people sometimes to tell them to do their damn jobs. So it's it whether you like ICE or not is not the problem. ICE has a job to do. If you don't like ICE's job, change the laws. Don't not enforce the laws because you don't like them. Go to your legislature, tell your congressman, either run for office if you so feel the call to do that, or call your damn representatives, your senators, state, local, federal, whoever, and tell them to change the motherfucking laws. Excuse my language on this Monday morning, but like I'm sick of the whole country, and this I'm tired of being silent on my opinions because I'm afraid of backlash. I don't give two flying fucks. There last week has taught me that I have opinions, and the more we keep quiet, the more we let shit like last Wednesday happen. If you don't like your laws, tell your congressman, make them do their jobs. They get paid $170,000 a year to do their jobs, which leads me down a rabbit hole of how these effers become millionaires when they only make $170,000 a year. The math doesn't math, but that's a story for another time. I'm a little fired up. Did you get new F's in your coffee this morning? I slept. Let's see what my Whoop says. I wear this thing called a Whoop band. I got it when I was going to the other gym. I pay a yearly fee and it monitors like sleep and stuff like that. My recovery is 64%, but I slept 10 hours and 17 minutes last night. I went to sleep at 9:09. This is when my thing says I fell asleep, and woke up at 7:59 today. I woke up at 5 o'clock when my alarm went off. I shut that damn thing off and went back to sleep. And as long as the little stayed asleep, I stayed asleep. So I didn't bother to get up. I wanted to go to the gym this morning. I wanted to record a video. Um, I wanted to do a lot of stuff, but I woke up this morning, I made the little breakfast, I made myself breakfast, and I am awake and alert, and I don't have these dark ass circles for the first time in a week. So, yeah, Squid has 0.000001 Fs to give. All the Fs that I have to give go towards my immediate family. Other than that, very few Fs to give for other things. But usually I keep my mouth shut, and I'm like not a judgy person as far as like people's opinions. And I just, but with the utter disrespect that I was shown on my channel in the comment section last week, combined with the fact that someone was just shot and killed on video in front of thousands of people because they wanted to have civil discourse. The time for civil discourse is kind of we can discuss things, but like if you don't like my opinion, I could give a flying fuck. Usually I try to understand people, but the time for and here's the thing that you get like, and I said it on Saturday night if you were on that stream, but like one side of the aisle tries to put it all on the side that is most of the violence is on one side. No. Like, I'm gonna come out with a couple of videos for this, but before we get into this activist judge, because it's all linked. All of this stuff is linked. The activist judge, all of it's linked. I one of and you didn't have to agree with Charlie on everything. I maybe agreed with him on like 60 to 70% of what he said. However, I didn't disagree with his right to say what he said as long as he could articulate what his points were. I bring you this. For someone who says Trump supporters are so violent, we own most of the pew-pews in this country. And I'm sorry I'm getting off topic and hopping on my soapbox this morning. However, friendly reminder in case y'all forgot, this was in response to certain things. Oh, don't forget people burning Teslas because they don't like Elon. People destroying Trump signs just because they don't like the person's opinion. My side owns most of the pew-pews. Nothing was boarded up. You didn't hear about any arrests. You didn't hear about any riots. You didn't hear about any vengeance killings or anything like that. You didn't hear about any of that shit because for the left to constantly call the right violent and this and that and this and that, they still don't. If they believed any of the bullshit that they were trying to spew on mainstream media, businesses would have been boarding up, police would have been in riot gear ready for stuff. You would have had people prepping for violence, and guess what? There was none. So the mainstream media and the left and left-wing politicians and left-wing cities and mayors and all that shit don't even believe their own fucking bullshit. Welcome to my TED Talk. All right, now let's get into this. It's going to be a relatively quick discussion on this, but this judge goes into a larger I recently heard someone say that vocalizing faith, gender, and personal politics all in one setting setting the stage for violence. I can actually see that point. Yeah, but here's the thing. My opinion is talking to people on the left, not everybody, because I don't generalize, because it's not everybody. It's a vocal 15%, maybe most of the people on Twitter, that it's like talking to a narcissist. They can verbally call you any ist in the world, but once you point out their failures and their faults and their hypocrisy, you're this evil person and this bad guy who's going to be violent. No, I use words, and words are not violence. Sorry, I can express what I want to express. Words are not violence. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's why when people say things that I don't like, I either push back on it or I just ignore them because it doesn't freaking matter. There's a difference between like incitement words and expressing your faith. And am I a religious person? Not super. Do I go to church? No, because I was born into a Catholic family, and the Catholic Church to me is just a bunch of people a bunch of humans putting on rules of what I should and shouldn't do based on what they interpret a book to be. I don't believe in any humans telling me what I should and should not do based on a book that was written by a human. So I'm, but there's that. But I give you 4 examples of people. So 4 examples. There's many more than I can spout, but I'm not going to because we got time for other things. But this judge makes me angry because she tried to hide behind judicial immunity. And she just she tried to hide behind judicial immunity. And when the magistrate judge said no, the district judge took a look at it, also wrote a 30-page novel on why that was not appropriate. And now she didn't take the district or the magistrate judge or the district judge at their decisions because they both wrote orders. She filed a defendant's motion for reconsideration regarding motion to dismiss. This bitch. And this brings up a larger problem because if you've been on this channel for more than 30 seconds, you know that I hate judicial immunity. I hate judges who hide behind, oh, I'm a judge, to feel like they can do whatever they want to do. And judges are not supposed to be activists. And one of the major problems we have in this country these days are judges who are acting as elected officials and the judicial. Remember, we have a separation of powers. The legislative branch is supposed to make the laws. The judicial branch is supposed to interpret the laws. You're not supposed to make your own laws and legislate from the bench. That's not how that shit's supposed to work. So, and I have, I've seen more death than I'd wanted to, and I admit I've never seen one person not reference, or I have never seen not one person not reference their God before their last breath. That's really interesting. I misread that at first, and I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm kind of on a freaking firestorm this morning. This is what happens when I have a lot of energy. Whew. And I slept a lot. So I like we're intermixing the separation of powers and what the Constitution, and damn, I'm going to come out with a video. I was supposed to record it this morning about the people who are online talking about the First Amendment and don't even know what the First Amendment is. So I'll save that for another time and save my preaching now. But it's amazing the people who try to tell you and preach to you what the Constitution is on like Twitter and Instagram and all these social media platforms and even YouTube that don't even know what the F it says. So this one woman said it best: the judges are usurping the power of the executive branch. Yeah, the executive branch is the branch that is supposed to enforce the laws that the legislative branch makes. So if the legislation doesn't, or the legislature does not like the laws, their job is to change the laws. And it's not my fault that these 435 fuckers can't get along enough to actually make the laws. Is it 435 or 438 now? I forget. But it's so 535 if you include the Senate. But like, it's not my fault that these asshats can't get along enough to actually compromise and change some laws and make shit better in this country. That's not my problem. That's a them problem. And their emotional immaturity should not be America's problem, but it is. That's my favorite new phrase. Your emotional immaturity is not my problem. Hey, April's Crochet and More. Welcome to my TED Talk. Yeah, 535 Senate and House. Yeah, I was referring to the representatives, House of Representatives, because they seem to be the loudest. So yeah, even the Pope is limited in what he can say by prior church tradition and still can sin too. Yeah. I was a hospice nurse. As I read your comment, I realized in 7 years, no one mentioned God, but I had quite a few mention angels. I had people that, looking back, hindsight being 2020, I wish I had called a code on sooner, because they were what I thought was stable condition, working with therapy, not some little side note. This is only 3 pages, so this isn't going to take us very long to get through. I had people who I thought were stable. They're in therapy. They're not on any cardiac monitoring. They're not on IVs. They're not hooked up to any lines. They're still in a hospital because we had an inpatient rehab unit, 45 beds. And I was on that I floated. That was my home base for a lot of my time, but I did like 4 or 3 days on rehab and 2 days on acute care per week. But I had patients that, hindsight being 2020, I should have called a code on sooner, or I should have called nursing, because they were seeing things. And me being a therapist who is just working, or a therapy practitioner, not a therapist, therapy assistant, working with someone who is supposedly stable in rehab, walking 1,000 feet, cognitively intact, all of a sudden seeing their family members hindsight being 2020, I should have alerted nursing a little bit sooner than what I did that something was not right. Because when someone goes from clarity talking to you like none other to seeing their mother who passed away when they were 15 years old in the corner of the room, uh, y- now looking back, being 10 years older, you see things, you remember things that you were like, oh yeah, I probably should have, that probably should have been a sign a little bit sooner. Like, I did talk to nursing after the session, like, hey, something's not right. But like, I should have been in the, I should have had nursing in the room just a little bit quicker. So, uh, you know, but that's hindsight being 2020, because you always look back and you see things that you didn't see in the moment. My father-in-law saw different people for over a month before he passed. Speaking of seeing people that you shouldn't be seeing, I am going to be doing a members only live stream with Mussy Lady, because she did a live stream on her channel yesterday, and I encourage you to go check it out as kind of a preview to what we're going to be talking about. I have had things move in my house, like Mr. Squid's in the bathroom taking a shower, the littles in the kitchen as I'm cooking, and all of a sudden I hear something in the bathroom move. The littles, she has a, and this is my Lumen device. This is my inhaler kind of thing. Um, this is not a vape, but she has a little nail trimmer like you see in the salon, that it has, I file it down that way. It's on a shelf like this, sitting on a shelf, and it flew across the bathroom, turned on, and was underneath her little step stool for the sink. Turned on. So we started talking about what was in my house. So my haunted house, that is new-ish construction. My house is only like 3 years old. Um so the fact that, but I do live on land that is Revolutionary and Civil War battlefield land. So, no, I used to live down the road from um a Confederate prisoner of war camp. Uh so, yes, my new house. So this is the kind of stuff. So Mussy and I are going to be doing a members only live stream, um, because it's rather interesting to me. I know not everybody believes in ghosts, but there is some people in my house that she was even confused by. So, yeah. There's a soldier in my house, and there's a soldier in my house apparently. And take this with a grain of salt, because even she was like, but this person was not wearing, this person confused the look, and the clothing of this person confused her. So I'm thinking Revolutionary War. So yeah, and she had, I encourage you to go check out her channel for exactly what she had said about it. Um, but it was like the fact that both Mr. Squid and I were military intrigues him. So, and me especially, because back in the day women were not military. Just an interesting turn of events, but but my ring is also missing. Like, things are missing, and I found things that I haven't seen in years that I thought were missing. So, this is the weirdness that is going on in this house. And I have seen things. Like, no one else was home. Baby Squid and I were in this room, and I swear I saw somebody walk into her room, to the point where I can't remember what live stream it is, but I mentioned it on camera, and I turned off the camera and I went to go look in her room to make sure nobody had broken into our house. Like, this is the kind of weird stuff that I am dealing with in this house. But anyway, getting back into Hannah Dugan. Ghostbusters, yeah. Um, she brings up one of many judges who are legislating from the bench and using their own personal opinions and what they think of the laws and how the laws should be enforced or not enforced to legislate from the bench. And this is a larger problem. We saw different aspects of this in Judge Grudge, Auntie Bev, um, the Irina Zutska or Zarutska in North Carolina, how that guy had been let out of jail 14 times. The judge there not putting the cashless bail, the issues that remain in this country, and activist judges being a problem. It is a huge issue, and this is one that's actually going to court. Isn't there an abandoned mental health prison in Georgia open for tours? It's allegedly haunted. I'm not sure about Georgia, but there is some in, I know there's Mansfield Prison in Ohio, or Marshfield Prison. I think it's Mansfield. There's a few prisons and asylums throughout the country where people were that are allegedly haunted and that all that, but we shall see. But that will probably be Friday. Probably. I have to make sure she's good with the time, but defendant Judge Hannah Dugan, through undersigned counsel, formalizes her motion for reconsideration of the court's determination on a motion to dismiss. Remember, not one, but two federal judges, the magistrate judge and the district judge, both wrote 30-ish page motions or opinions and decisions on her motion to dismiss, and both had differing reasonings and different case law as to why it shouldn't or it should be denied, but both agreed that it should be denied. We read through both of those on this channel. And you're still coming with two federal judges got it wrong. It just, as set forth in open court at the hearing on September 3rd, 2025, the defendant intends and herein does renew her challenge to the case against her based on judicial immunity. God, freaking, that phrase is like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. For official acts, the 10th Amendment, and other issues previously raised. Moreover, the defendant intends and the court at the hearing so acknowledged that by pursuing trial, the defense does not abandon, forfeit, or otherwise waive its ability to revisit the issues raised in the prior motion to dismiss, whether as a motion to reconsider under the standards of Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure 12 or a new motion under Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure 29. No further brief is submitted at this time, and that this was the 4th of September. And because it is the 15th now, I am going to just check. I checked last week and there was nothing new, but I'm going to check again because it's been a couple of days between when I wanted to talk about this and when I actually got to talk about this, because you know, events happened last week that we events happened last week that changed the course of this channel, but it changed the course of history in my opinion. So we're just gonna make sure that and I'm just checking Pacer now. Let's see, 44. And I'm starting at the document that is there because I don't want to pay for anything. So there is a scheduling order that there's a hearing on September 17th at 10 a.m. Defendant's appearance is not required. However, all counsel and, you know, all counsel is. Robert Ward, good morning. How are you? Like, mm, it's been a day. Well, it hasn't been a day. It's been a really, actually good day. But I'm going to write that on my calendar now. Because I keep this open on my desk so that I can, not going to show you guys the inside of it, but it's been a week. So September 17th at 10 a.m. So that's 11 a.m. my time. Obviously, this won't be recorded because it is federal court. However, if there are minutes, I will, if there's minutes that are worth reading, because sometimes it's just defendant's lawyer spoke, judge spoke, defendant's lawyer called witness, defendant's lawyer did it's sometimes, the minutes aren't worth reading. But if there's anything interesting that the minutes show, I will definitely definitely tell you guys. But I love federal cases in the sense of I love talking about them because they're not given the reporting and the acknowledgement that they should be because they're not recorded. So you can't see a hearing unless you go. And if I was still living in the state of Wisconsin, I would be at this hearing because this courthouse was not far from where I lived. So I could ride my bike if I really wanted to this courthouse. So that would have been fun. But because it is not even close to where I am, I will not be going. But I might be able to convince someone if they have the day off or they work from home that particular day to go because that would be interesting to hear what the judge has to say. So I will be keeping an eye on this case because when is the last time that you heard about this case in the mainstream media? You've heard a couple of YouTubers talk about it, and I've seen one or two articles on it, but in general, you haven't heard about this since everybody was all up in arms that ICE was detaining people at a courthouse. And here's my thing with this person, this individual that they were trying to arrest. He not only broke the law by coming to this country illegally, he was accused of another crime and was in circuit court in the county because he was accused of breaking another law. I mean, just this motion should be denied because it introduces no new arguments or information. It should be a one-page order. Yeah, and that's when I was like, it should have been denied almost immediately. It should have, like, that was on the 4th. It's the 15th. Like, it should have been denied the 5th. It should have been denied that Friday and literally said no. Like, no. Yes, and if anybody needs to email me, and I do have a couple of emails to respond to. So, and if you do email me and I don't get back to you right away, I apologize. I am horrible at seeing an email and saying, I don't have time to read the full thing right now, but I saw it. And then I get sidetracked with family, some other things going on, and I forget. I am horrible about that. So sometimes if you shoot me an email and I don't respond to you within a day or two, just let me know, hey, I emailed you. Did you get it? Because most of the time I've seen it and I've either started a response or I've said, I looked at it, but it's detailed, and in order to respond accurately, I need to, but you can ask like Jeffrey and a couple other people. Even with like messages, DMs, text messages, I'm like awful at responding sometimes. I acknowledge them, but it's like sometimes I'm awful. And I will be the first to admit that I am sometimes very awful at that, and I'm just bad at that. But I'm also the type of person who will like read a text message from a friend and, and say, I'll text them back when I'm done at the gym or I'm done cooking dinner. And then I'll be wondering why they didn't text me back. It's like because I forgot to text them back myself. Yeah. Yeah. And yes, and I read them, and I also don't respond unless I have something to say. So there's that too. There's that too. Like, and I will admit that when sometimes people message me things or send me emails, if I don't have anything constructive to say, like empathetic, sometimes I'll just be like, I wish I had better advice, but all I can be is be here as a sounding board to listen. And that's all I can do. You want your pad now? Oh, it died. Good thing mommy's prepared for this. I have contingencies. Whoopsie. So sometimes I'll I look at things and I'm like, I wish I had something more helpful to say. But some certain people, I'm like, I know I want to say something, but here's a video that says what I can say better than I can say it. So I think the YouTube algorithm picks people who aren't viewing. Oh yeah, the Hung Hero. The YouTube algorithm is weird. And Hung Hero, thanks for the 10 gifted Squid Pro Quo memberships. I appreciate you. But them gifted memberships, like I don't know who got them now. I have to look at the YouTube chat because StreamYard doesn't show me. But there is something interesting that is funny. The YouTube algorithm be out here outing people that say, sometimes when like someone's like, I hate this person, or I hate this person, or I hate this person, and then you're on that person's channel and you see gifted memberships and you're like, oh, this person got one, but I thought that person said that they hated this person, despised them, and would never subscribe, and talked all nothing but crap about them. And then it's like, oh, you secretly subscribed. Oh, them gifted memberships be out here outing people. Yes, and I am still practicing with it. I have like set it up, recorded it. I do have it right here. So I do have it right here. I have to practice with it because there's a lot of stuff that I am like, I'm a boomer when it comes to technology. So I'm a basic bee, and this is very fancy. So I'm like figuring out how to do things. Like, it's got a remote too, and I'm like this is like 8 steps beyond my my comprehension of knowledge. So I'm learning. So I am I'm learning how to do things. So we're there's a lot of recording the little right now, which obviously I don't do family content. So there's a lot of record, delete, or record, put it on my computer, mess with settings, trying to learn. So, but I appreciate it, Jeff. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. It's a yeah. Oh, I saw it. I went into my YouTube studio. So YouTube has been sending me streams that happened 4 days ago. And sometimes Camelot was on here Saturday night, and I went to his stream on Saturday night. And even though I had received a gifted membership like the week prior, I was unsubscribed from his channel. Like, I watch this man's channel probably twice a week, maybe. I mean, he streams later, so he streams at like 10 o'clock my time. So I don't always get to watch him live, but he's someone I can watch on replay crew. I was unsubscribed from his channel, and like, I know I didn't do that. There's some people who I go through and I unsubscribe from because I'm like, I don't watch their content, and I have to go through my subscriptions list once every couple weeks because this little one manages to subscribe me to some weird things. Yeah, but she doesn't know how to unsubscribe. So, you want to say hi?
No,
You go be a sassy butt this morning?
no, I did.
Okay. It's right there. Okay. Somebody apparently does not want to be social this morning. Yeah. It is cuteness overload, but it's also attitude overload. Oh, it's also attitude overload because she is something else. But then sometimes I wonder, like, she has a t-shirt that was ordered from her birthday gift list. And it was one of those things, it says, sometimes I look at you and I wonder where you got your attitude. And it says, you lady, it says you, something about you, mama. I get my attitude from you. It's like, yep. I sometimes wonder where she gets her attitude from. And then I remember to look in the mirror. How's the PT going? I'm not in PT, but I am it's this whole thing and this last week, we have big issues in this country, and being scared, and I'm going to take this potty training. Yeah, we put an end to it because she would throw a hissy fit every time I put her on the toilet, and I'm not going to scar her for life. So even though sometimes, majority of the time, her body language screams I'm ready, and her words as far as like, mommy, I'm going to the going potty and stuff like that, screams that all the signs that I'm ready. I'm not going to torture her by putting her on the potty and making her out to be I'm not going to torture her with that. Like, she's not ready. So we're putting it to the side. It's still there. I still have it out if she wants to try, but for as ready as she appears, she is not ready. So it's not going. It's not going. And she's stubborn in the fact that, like, the more you try to push her into something, the less she wants to do it. She's like her dad. So she it's one of those situations where, like, she'll tell you she's wet, but she doesn't care. Like, do you want to go change? No. We have to get to the point where being wet is a bad thing, and when you're wet, you want to, so it's not consistent enough. So we're not quite there yet, but whatever. Every kid's different, and all I can do is every couple weeks I try, and yep, Squidlet's still being 2, but she's 3. Yeah, she's but in other news, she's getting better at, like, dressing herself and expressing her needs and things like that, because she can. And we've started our princess dress. All right, do you want to open it?
Yeah.
Here, you open it.
Okay.
There you go. Ready?
Yeah, I did it.
Yep, you did it. Whoop, hold on. So you got to turn it. Yep, there you go. You did. I'll take that. Good job.
Huh?
Nice work. Hold on. I'll get it. You take that first. I'm going to get it. Hold your horses. So impatient. There you go. All right. Speaking of that, we're working on, like, she'll bring me, like, she brought me a yogurt. We're working on being able to open the top by herself. So, hey, Ung Hero, thanks for the $10 super chat. Survived the bachelor weekend in northern Wisconsin. Oh, you went up north? Pew pews, fishing, liquor, and grilled meat. Fun times. Sounds like a very relaxing kind of, like, no drama, just fun with the boys. So, she is inventive, like wearing undies with a tube top. Go baby squish. Yeah, I'm so glad that this is one of the reasons that my camera is backed up to a wall now and not where she can, or where everybody can see her. One, she's on camera less. And it's one, she's on camera a bit less. And two, she's on camera a bit less when she does things like trying to put my underwear on her like a shirt. Can you go throw it in the garbage, please?
No.
Well, you know. Gail, did you just hear that? I said, can you go put it in the garbage? She said, no, mommy.
No, mommy.
Angel, garbage, please. Thank you. Thank you. Hugs. Hugs. Mwah. Good girl.
Okay.
Thank you. We're working on cleaning up after ourselves. That's our new thing. So that is the only thing about this judge that I had, but I wanted to kind of discuss how this is a yeah, you go wipe your face. This is a larger problem, and that's the ew. Go throw it in the garbage. When we yeah, no, mommy, and then she goes to put it in the trash anyway. When we talk about topics on this channel, I talk about topics that in their little corner of the world are a microcosm of greater issues in society. The Hales content is a microcosm of how when we don't listen to each other and we think we're above the law and we think we can say whatever we want without consequence, things get out of hand. Well, look what happened. After last Wednesday's events, you have people on the internet celebrating and then wondering why they're being fired from their job. And they cite free speech, free speech. Look at the documents that we've looked at in that case where the defendants are all like, free speech, free speech, free speech. Free speech is not freedom of consequence. This judge had allowed someone in her courtroom to evade federal officers because she does not like the immigration laws. Instead of talking to the legislature and advocating for changing the law, she decided to legislate from the bench. That is a microcosm of people thinking they're above the law, and then they hide behind judicial immunity. They're hiding behind these laws about how we're above the law, but then citing no one is above the law at the same time. So when I cover cases that are not only interesting to me as far as people, the hypocrisy is the saying. It's I cover cases that, in my opinion, are a microcosm of a larger issue in our society. And last week kind of proved my point. So it's Jeremy let everyone know how much he lost last night. Yeah, and I'm sure it was probably a lot more than everybody thought. So yeah, SCOTUS should be making an example of this judge, full removal, loss of pension, and jail time. And this, to me, well, what I think should happen and you can agree to disagree with me on this one, but what I think this case should do is this case should go to the Supreme Court, and judicial immunity should be looked at. Because, and I'm sure if you've watched Meghan for any number of years, she could go into a whole bunch of judges that have hid behind judicial immunity to cover their asses for their shitty behavior. And to me, judicial immunity was put in place for a certain issue. Those judges, the district court judge and the magistrate judge, both wrote 30-ish page documents and opinions on exactly where judicial immunity came from. 1607 in England. I can remember the date, Lord Cook. So I can tell you when judicial immunity came from and what it was meant for. It was meant so that when a person was found guilty, he could not sue the judge for any punishment that he might receive, which is fair, because otherwise judges would be sued all the time civilly for people who were found guilty and would blame the judge and sue the judge. I can completely understand where it came from, but its scope is so limited. But people are trying to expand that scope and make it this thing that it's not. And they're trying to hide behind it to, in my opinion, hide behind their shitty behavior and cover up for their shitty behavior. And I believe that the Supreme Court needs to take a look. So I'm really hoping that she loses this and she appeals it all the way to the Supreme Court. And I really hope that the Supreme Court takes a look at judicial immunity and says, screw judicial immunity, no one is immune. Or, hey, judicial immunity was only meant for this. We need to rein in the scope of judicial immunity and set a precedent. I do think that this will set a precedent, and I hope this will set a precedent for judicial immunity, because far too many judges across the country, and I'm sure I could name, all I'd have to do is go through my files and do a little Google search, and I could come up with probably 20 to 30 judges that have hid behind judicial immunity for shitty behavior that has nothing to do with being a judge. And that's kind of the larger discussion that this case. So whatever you think of this case and her acts, you can think whatever you want about ICE and the laws and things like that. However, her job as a judge is not to make the laws. It's to interpret the laws, and you cannot change the laws based on your personal opinion of them. There's a lot of laws in this country that I think are fucking stupid. But guess what? It's still a law, and you still have to abide by it unless you go to the state or federal legislature.
Bye-bye.
Can you get that for mommy?
No.
And change it. And that's people lose perspective. The general consensus of this country has lost perspective on what the separation of powers meant. It is not meant for the judges to make the laws, that they're not supposed to be able to not enforce laws just because they don't like them. That is not their job. I want to see what happens to the judges who ignored the last SCOTUS ruling and blocked another executive order. It happened twice now. Yeah. Oh, and I also heard a second judge appointed by a Democrat. I hate using the words Republican judge or Democrat judge, because honestly, we shouldn't know their politics. That's another problem I have with judges, and why I'm following this case. Is this case basically told you the politics of that judge and how she votes. And that is just like we should not know how our school teachers vote or who our school teachers sleep with at night. We should also not know the party that our judges vote for. They are supposed to be impartial, and the fact that they are not. Yeah, there were another Democrat appointed judge blocked the release of some files that are very contentious, if you know what I mean. That's once again being blamed on Trump, and it's like, no, he told the DOJ to release whatever was appropriate, like, oh, I don't know, not naming victims or redact victims' names because we want to keep victims' privacy private. And you need to redact some things. You can't just release everything because we need to protect the people who were hurt in these situations. Um, yeah. I know it is, but at the same time, based on a judge's rulings, we should not know how they vote. And that's one thing I like about Belaytho is he's ruled against both sides because he's being impartial. If both sides hate the way you rule on things, you know you're impartial. If you're ruling one way or the other all the time, you're probably not impartial unless one side is just absolutely freaking ridiculous. However, we should not know based on their rulings. I mean, yes, every voter information and party registered, we don't have to register here in Georgia, we don't have to register parties. So you never know. As far as you might be able to see who someone voted for, but you will never be able to see like a registered Democrat or a registered Republican because we don't have to do that here. We don't have to register a certain party here. At least I didn't. So yeah, that's exactly why. Based on a ruling in a court case, we know how she voted. That to me is inappropriate. I don't donate to anything, so donation records are public too, but I don't donate to shit. Like I donate to like the Children's Hospital, the Research Hospital, St. Jude. I donate to stuff like that. I don't donate to political parties because no, them fuckers are rich enough. Like nobody needs my money. So that kind of, and I donate my time. I don't donate to political parties because yeah, I know, but that's the benefit of living down here and not up there. So, guaranteed she does and gets the kickback for it. Political donations are worth a lot at tax time. Yeah. Guaranteed she does, like me or the judge? Because, I donate to the 16-ounce club and Make-A-Wish Foundation. I've donated to Make-A-Wish before. I've donated to mostly St. Jude. I don't do like the grocery store, like when it says roundup to, hunger task force or this or that, because I don't exactly know where my money is going. If you know what I mean? So like that, I kind of feel like people look at you like when the cashier says, do you want to round up? No, this is not pre-recorded. Hi, Flash fan. I feel like it's one of those situations where I donate on my personal time and I don't advertise. So I feel like people look at you funny in the grocery store when you're like, no, it's just one of those, you don't know what I donate or don't donate on my personal time. So like, it's yeah. Although what I donated to last year, I kind of regret it because I look at some of the things I donated to last year and it was shitty. Hey, Mr. Streams. Yeah, this one's going to be relatively short. The what we read was only one page, but I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk to you guys about the larger issue that this short argument that she tried to bring up judicial immunity again after it being ruled against her twice by two different judges. that she still tried to bring up judicial immunity. And it's like, it's a larger issue in this country that is basically like front and center in this particular case. So, it's the site Open Secrets is great during election season to see where politicians' allegiances lie. Yeah. So, do you really think they separate out that roundup? Sounds good, but I don't think so. I don't either. And that's what they can't show me the receipts. No pun intended, but they can't show me. So I don't know. So I'd rather donate on my own personal time and know exactly where my donation is going. Better yet, I'd rather donate my time. The church I donated to last year during Hurricane Debbie, it actually let me choose where I wanted my donation to go, as far as like their church had like 4 or 5 different, you can donate it to the food fund, you can donate, to certain things in their church, different programs in their church that they had going on, which I thought was really interesting. So I Discord stream is tiresome. Yeah, Flash Fan, put your Discord stream in the chat. Flash Fan has started he's had his own Discord server for a while, but he's started streaming on a regular basis trials. And trials are something that I like to watch. I just don't have a lot of time for it right now. One, the little goes to school next year. When she's in kindergarten, I believe that I will have, a couple hours a day that's one that'll either make or break my channel. Because when I'm home alone for a couple hours a day, what I choose to do with that time will make or break what my channel is. Because I would love to hit 5K by the end of the year, but I admit that I'm not putting in the work in order to get that done, because of the fact that streaming is hard, recording is hard, editing for me is even harder because I have to look at my damn self and I have to hear myself. That's the hard part. I don't like listening to my own voice. I need to donate to the Get Squid Loaded on her birthday fund. My friends are taking me for a tattoo. I'm not sure what I'm going to get yet, but we're going for a tattoo this year. So I'm not sure where I'm going to get it. Probably right there. Maybe. Or something on my leg. I'm not sure yet. I don't have any tattoos from the waist down. So, I might get one. Or I have one on my foot, but I don't have any on my legs. So, yes, please put that address in. Flash Fan has been doing trial streams on Discord every day. Well, if not every day, a lot. I wish I could watch them more because they're interesting to me. But he did the Cardi B trial. So, yep, there is Flash Fan's Discord. It's called Court Watch. Go join. He's a lot of fun. Flash Fan is awesome. So, get a bird on your bird finger. I need to update my resume today with all the fallout of the last several days. There's bound to be lots of hiring. Yeah, just remember, and I'm going to record. I actually am going to record a video because I literally wrote myself, like, I don't do this very often, but I literally wrote myself like a mini script last night, or an outline, not a script, because I can't read from a script because I'll go freaking nuts. But I wrote myself an outline of what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to insert in the video, trying to step it up a notch. However, freedom of speech, the First Amendment says freedom of speech is a government thing. Government cannot restrict your speech, put you in jail, prosecute you for your speech. It's okay. Or make laws to restrict your speech. However, someone working at McDonald's or someone working at a hospital, I don't know, Children's Hospital of Atlanta, I'm looking at you, does not, you can have it right there. It's okay. Okay. Then don't. The First Amendment does not say anything about freedom of consequence from a private business who doesn't want to work for you or work with you because you've advocated for violence. I'm sorry, I wouldn't want to sit at a computer next to someone or have someone work with my grandmother as a therapist or a doctor or an electrician who has the power to, if they screw up, set my house on fire, who hates me because of the way I voted and actively says it on the internet. Like this one lady in California, there's a video of her, God forbid, she put herself on the internet celebrating Charlie Kirk's unfortunate demise. She's a stay-at-home mom. She thought there would be no consequences. Her husband owns an electrical business. He's an electrician. He owns his own business. The amount of people up in arms, if I were him, man, I would serve her with divorce papers. Like, that's a divorceable offense because, like, and I never advocate for someone to divorce over a disagreement or anything like that, but like, you are going to ruin my business because you can't keep your mouth shut. Whether you like someone's politics or hate them, everybody's free to think the way they think. But I don't know if I'd want that dude in my house, knowing that his wife wants me dead because of the way I think. I don't want him in my house. I don't want him working on my electrical system because if he messes up or he screws up intentionally, he could set my house on fire. I don't know if I would do that. And hey, good morning to you. And bye you, princess. Good morning, Squid. New subscriber here. Love the channel. Thank you. I'm just me. I'm just me. I'm just me. Sometimes I run my mouth. I don't judge anybody unless they judge me first. uh so it's Sings our divorce comes final today. It's yeah. Someone asked me about the cast-up trial. Wonder if it starts. I wasn't going to stream it because you were going to do it. Wanted to get your thoughts. If you want to come on with me at night, I might not be able to do the whole thing. We'll talk about it. But if you want to, I mean, I don't gatekeep YouTube. And that's the thing. Like, I don't gatekeep YouTube because I think people who are like, it started with before I even had a channel, when I saw Ricada and Legal Bites go back and forth about the Rittenhouse trial, and she wanted to stream it on hers, and she wanted to do this, and he was like, I don't care. It was kind of that I will never gatekeep YouTube. I will never tell anybody who not to subscribe to or anything like that, because everybody is their own personal individual. I will not tell anybody I'm doing that. You can't stream it. I don't gatekeep YouTube. I don't gatekeep trials. Like, Flash fan, you know I love you. You can do whatever you want and I will do what I do and we'll make it work. And because we are friends, if you want to stream it, I can do a recap at night. We will figure it out. So I don't gatekeep. I think gatekeeping subscribers and telling someone, well, I'm live, you have to watch here, or comparing who's live at the same time and going, this person's I only have 30 people watching me and this person has 50. I'm angry. I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't care. Like, I want views, don't get me wrong, because this is how I make my money. This is how I support my family. I'm a disabled vet. For those of you who are new here, I am a disabled vet. I am a stay-at-home mom. I get my VA disability money and my YouTube money, and I work 1 day a week helping my friend with his janitorial business. That is my income. I don't gatekeep who can I don't gatekeep what y'all do in the 22 hours and I'm not streaming a day. It's your business. Like I will never be that kind of person, and if I ever start acting like that kind of person or drift into that, please check me. Please DM me or write it in chat like, "Hey, you're drifting into that territory that you don't want to." Because, you know. Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Michael, the only okay, there is one thing I will judge you on right now, and I say this in jest because I am a huge sports fan. I live in Georgia. I'm a huge Dogs fan. So that is the only but there's a couple people in this chat who are Florida Gators fans. So I they give me crap and I give them crap. So, you know, there's a couple people who are in here who are Bama fans. We all give them crap because I mean it's Bama. Um, I was actually streaming during that game on Saturday night. The end of the game, because I was like, I had a scheduled stream, and I was like, the game may or may not be over. Mr. Squid texted me from the living room and said that they had won in overtime, and it was like, so you saw my relief live on YouTube. uh, so, operation went well. Yay! Watching from your bed. Oh, glad to hear it. I'm sorry it broke your heart. I did the first week of college football because I am a college football fan. I'm a college football like nut, but I am from Wisconsin. So I will always sort of root for the Badgers because they are my home state team, but I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan. So, oh, 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 I am a Georgia and Wisconsin fan. You know. Oh boy. Oh, Ohio State is your home state team. My stepsister went to Ohio State for a little while. So I lived in Ohio when I was a kid for a few years. I moved around a lot. So, you know, college, yeah, but you also live in Illinois. So like, you just there, you know. But as long as you don't say you're not a Bears fan, like we're all good. So, you know. And Timothy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Squid's Tattoo Fund. Yeah, that's my friend's idea to take me to go get tattoos for my birthday. I'm not sure what I'm gonna get or when we're gonna go, but um we're going to be you know. You will get a lot of this in the chat. People going back and forth. You know. But on that note, UK football is the real football. Yeah, you know. The St. John's River in Florida flows north because Georgia sucks. I'll admit they looked like absolute trash on Saturday. And give Tennessee all the credit in the world. You had Georgia on the ropes, just like Ohio State had them on the ropes back in 2022, whatever year that was, the New Year's midnight game. It's it's fun. The Bears are in football for me, more of a baseball fan. Oh, speaking of baseball, Long Hung Hero, guess who already punched their ticket to the playoffs? The postseason ticket has been punched by the Brewers. So, you know, I don't do the foot fairy soccer. Like I don't do foot fairies. That's what we called them in high school. It's foot fairies. But I did my the first week of college football as a lay fan. I watch a guy called the Film Guy Network. He does a lot of Georgia. He's a Georgia fan, but he does a lot of tape. He's been on with like Paul Feinbaum, like he's that kind of guy. He's not like a random, started from his basement, now I'm here. I watch him and I learn about plays and stuff like that. But from I'm a just a fan. I'm not an analyst by any means, but you can always tell when a team looks comfortable, when a team looks uncomfortable. It doesn't take a lot to know when a quarterback looks comfortable in the pocket. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like yeah. I will say though, the Packers made the Lions look very uncomfortable and very out of sorts, which was kind of nice to see. However, the Bears suck. So like, yeah, a win is a win, and it was an impressive win. But the Lions playing the Bears is like Alabama playing like, I don't know, Middle Tennessee State. Like it's just, if you don't win by 100 points, did you actually win? So, I'm pretty sure right now that there's a bunch of college teams that could play the Bears right now and kick their ass. I would put money on the fact that Alabama, Florida State, Georgia, Tennessee, hell, even probably Ole Miss, hell, probably Vanderbilt right now could kick the shit out of Chicago. Yeah, the Bears make everyone look like Super Bowl contenders. Well, one of our coaches left the Lions to go coach the Bears. It was even weirder of a win. Yeah. Oregon, there's another one. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. But the same could be said for like Wisconsin. Wisconsin is supposed to be a good team, and they sucked up the damn field yesterday. So like, or Saturday. I saw Squid's hands clasped in prayer. She must have done the same for Georgia Tennessee game. Yes. And I'll admit I'm a bad Christian. You give thoughts and prayers to people when they need it, and you send positive vibes, but you don't sit and pray every night. Like I was raised to say the Lord's Prayer every night before I went to bed and pray for, not like a true prayer, but like I'm gonna pray for my aunt and uncle for this, and I'm gonna pray for my aunt or my mom and dad to, for this. And I'll admit that I stopped doing that as I got older, and I really need, and this past week has taught me that like I just really need to get back to that, because if the Packers haven't been good since Vince Lombardi, what does that say for your Commanders? Because y'all because y'all didn't look good either. Dog poo. That's an exclamation point, Gail. Dog poo. Yeah, because Florida was supposed to be good this year. I heard so many preseason things about Florida. Florida was going to be this. Florida was going to be that. As a Packers fan, can you thank Jerry Jones for me? Appreciate you. All right, guys. It is almost 11 o'clock. I have to get since I got a message on Discord saying I should get my fat ass to the gym. Thanks, Zach. I will get off of here and go get my fat ass to the gym. It's squat day, so I might record a video, and there might be a short on me attempting to do wave squats, 5 through 1 at different percentages. So we will see. We'll see how it goes. Duncan, Idaho, how are you doing? I got rid of my social media after seeing how many of the people I went to high school with were either celebrating, mocking, or equivocating about Charlie Kirk's death. Just disgusting. Yeah. And no matter, see, I will not I was going to do a stream after Biden got diagnosed with cancer, not to mock him, but to see what happened because I was going to bring my best friend on who is a nurse and worked in oncology for a while. So she has personal experience with that type of cancer and how it develops and how long and I was going to do research on, what happens and what was this actually hidden, that kind of stuff. There was no oh good, that's karma kind of a talk. Like there was none of that, because I could hate somebody and I still don't wish certain things on them. Like I might wish that, like, don't, I wish you get the karma of talking crap about me, kind of a situation. But like to wish harm or be happy that someone, as Camelot put it when he was on this channel on Saturday, people think it's a game and it's like a video game. It's their entertainment. I think people don't realize, I've seen enough death. I have seen death up close, both violent death and illness death from working in a hospital. I have seen the result of wounds from pew-pews. I have seen cancer deaths. I have seen heart attack deaths. Like I have seen things, whether I wanted to or not. To ever celebrate, I would say the closest thing I ever got to quote unquote celebrating someone's unaliving is saying they've been in pain for this long, they are no longer in pain. That is the closest I think I've ever gotten to celebrating. And that is more being grateful for the fact that they're not suffering anymore, more than the fact that I'm happy that they're not with us. But for people to just go, he got what he deserved, like, and then they're pissed that they're getting fired. It's like, don't be, I think the meme that I have is, don't be, what is the phrase? I have to look at the phrase, sorry. I have to quote it, because if you believe people deserve to be shot for their opinions, don't cry when you get fired for yours. Because at least you are still breathing. That is more than I could say for some people. So the assassination itself is basically a gamer shit post with what was written on the case. And yeah, compassion is the cheapest thing in the world, but the least used today. Yes, now there's 3 things that are free in life: the ability to mind your business, the ability to stay in your lane, and the ability to be compassionate. And I agree with Charlie that I have a hard time with the word empathy, because empathy means that you feel what someone else is feeling. Sympathy and compassion, sympathy leaves room for compassion. Empathy does not, in my opinion. Yeah, it's fine if you have no empathy for what happened. Don't put that on social media, though. It's not cool. And everybody's entitled to think what they want to think. It's what you do with those thoughts that are I do, in the sense of, I think it's so big. However, we're still waiting to see on what will be state cases and what will be federal, because are some things that might be brought by federal courts. The fact that they believe that he was unalived because of his opinions, that's a civil rights violation. Utah. And there's also, they're part of the persons that had a problem with me. Was talking about the fact that, like, people were calling him left-leaning and this, and just because your family is votes one way does not mean that you have to, or you do. I know plenty of people whose parents are lifelong Republicans and they are not. Also, he might not be trans, but his boyfriend is. It seems to be the latest that was coming out. I wanted to keep my mouth shut about that one until I have more information, but even the neighbor has come out and talked about this. So yeah. Yes, right here. Freedom of speech is guaranteed. The ability to get out of the consequences of your actions is not protected. Yeah. And hey, Sarah, how are you? Yeah, it's one of those things. It's freedom from consequences is not. And I'm sorry, I said it a little while ago, but if I was working at the hospital still, I don't know if I'd be comfortable working with someone who said that they were happy that someone died. working in a hospital, all because they didn't like their opinions. And half the people can't even name what their damn opinions were. Like the people who were like the empathy quote. Oh, Charlie didn't believe in empathy. If you finish the rest of the quote, he said, because I prefer sympathy because sympathy leaves room for compassion, was the rest of the quote. So it's just one of those, like, it's just, did you hear about the guy to try to take out Trump as representing himself in federal court? I did not, but we'll have to talk about that. But on that note, once again, I do this all the time. I say I gotta go, and then I start talking to the chat, and here we go. I do this with Spawn. I do this with My Pretty. Any guest, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. And then 5 minutes later, we're still talking. I have to go. I have to get the little ready to get going. We are going to go to the gym and do some squats. Hope everybody is doing well, because this is a relatively pain-free day. I slept funky. I have a little back pain from sleeping, but like my incision doesn't hurt. I have no shoulder pain. Like, it's a relatively pain-free day. And usually when I sit here, I'm in excruciating pain. So hopefully it'll be a good day today. We're crossing our fingers, right? But y'all have a great day. And remember, hug your little ones, hug your family. Never be afraid to tell someone you love them, because as we've learned in the last few days, tomorrow is not always promised. And remember, compassion, like mind in your own business, is free. Bye, guys.